nice white backgrounds, white walls. Okay, hey everyone, we're this is like an awesome Girl Meets World after show because we finally have 3 people on. Wee! Woohoo! I just combined 2 words to say wee he. So it's me, Heavenly Gal, who's been doing it for the last several probably shows, and Sean, he's back.
Yay! Everybody.
Yay! And today we're going to talk about episode, I believe it's 23, Girl Meets the Forgiveness Project. So pretty good, heavy. I mean, I guess not too heavy, but pretty good episode centered on Maya. But before we start on that, I wanted to know, since we just had that 3-part Girl Meets Texas episode, wanted to let Sean talk about his overall, I guess, thoughts that he had on that episode, because there was a lot going on.
Yeah, so there was definitely a lot going on with Girl Meets Texas. I was falling behind. I got really busy with work. I was working a different job over the summer. Mo knows how it is in the industry. It's really time-consuming. But I'm all catched up now.
Oh, gosh. No, I'll never say that word again.
And Girl Meets Texas, I watched all 3 episodes in a row. And that was about a week ago, I think I watched it. And it worked great as a narrative. I kind of think that they could have made it a 2-parter if they wanted to.
Oh, okay.
But I like the fact that it was 3 parts. You don't really see that in sitcoms. Sitcoms usually, mainly if they do more than 1 episode, it's usually just 2 parters. So the fact that this was 3 parts was pretty impressive. Felt like a mini movie in a way. I felt like that because they used different sets of characters in Texas, and there was just a whole different feel about it that I really liked. The acting, of course, was superb. This season, they're taking it to the next level. I don't even remember the last time I was on an after show. It was, I guess, early on in the 2nd season, maybe. But I just feel like there's been so much progress throughout this season. So kudos to everyone from like the writing staff all the way down to the actors. It's just been great. So with Texas, the one thing I'll say about it that I thought, at first I thought it was a con. And it's similar to how I feel about the Forgiveness Project. I felt there was some progression in all the characters, especially in this case Lucas and Riley and Maya. But I felt that they left it open-ended. The way it ended, there wasn't really a true resolution. And at first that kind of bothered me in a sense. I was thinking that they did 3 episodes and they don't really have like a closing narrative. It's in other words, there was some uncertainty. It's like, are we friends? Are we more than friends? Does this person like there still wasn't like that final resolution, which you would assume would happen in the end of 3 episodes, but it really didn't. There were still more questions than answers, I think. But after thinking about it more, I think that's actually a good thing. Just because it's 3 parts doesn't mean we have to have those answers. This is something that's going to be ongoing throughout the series, probably well into season 3. So, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was fun to see them, eating at Chubby's, which was a really cool throwback. So, yeah, I'll leave my thoughts pretty brief on Texas, but that's pretty much how I feel. I really liked it. It was really different. It was fun. It was deep at the same time. Seriously, Girl Meets World is just on a whole new level.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite episode of the 3 parts?
Good question. So, of the 3, I like the second one the best, part 2. Well, you know what? I would actually say I like the third one the best.
Oh,
The third one, yeah, it was just really the culmination of everything in the first 2 episodes was coming in the 3rd episode, and No, I would say the third one's my favorite.
Okay, I have a question. What do you think about Charlie?
What do I think about Charlie? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, huh? Charlie is. I don't see him being a big factor. I'm not a fan of his. I shouldn't be anyway. But I see him as something of more of like a recurring character who's there to just kind of act as that temptation,
Mm.
act as that I could have this person in my life if I wanted to, just so I could prove to myself that I could have him.
Mhm.
I don't see him as being a regular in the next season. I don't see anything developing there.
Oh, okay. And I don't know if you know or if you saw the tweet, but the writers had tweeted that there was a big clue in the pilot about that had something to do with like Texas. So I don't know if you ever saw that tweet or no.
I heard about it.
Because I couldn't really figure out. I was like, what was the clue? And I thought it was like a little look that happened. I think I saw it like in the pilot when Maya first throws Riley onto Lucas's lap, and then she lands on his lap, and then he kind of looks at Maya it seems kind of like for a few seconds, and then he looks back at Riley. So, like, maybe, like, he wanted maybe Maya. I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining things, but that's kind of the only thing I saw. Like, or the fact that, like, Maya had this whole fast relationship with Lucas when she's like, oh, hi, how are you? Let's go out, and, like, I hate you, or, like, oh, we just broke up. That whole little scene. I thought that might be the clue, so I was wondering if, like, you had any thoughts about that.
Well, now that you mention it, just going back to being a 7th or 8th grader, if I had a girl thrown at me on a New York subway, because I used to live by New York, and it was her friend who did it, and I liked her friend, I would kind of give that girl a look like, why don't you throw yourself
Mm-hmm.
at me? But that's also a way of, now that we look back on it, maybe a way of Maya flirting with Lucas. This is my way of flirting. I'm going to throw my friend at you, which is kind of wrong if you think about it.
Yeah.
But
They're young.
They're young. They don't know any better. And honestly, don't hate me, but sometimes that's how girls are.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And that's cool, though. It's cool. So, because guys would do something similar. Because
Yeah.
when we're young, guys don't know how to act. They still don't know how to act. Even
How they, like, hit, like, in elementary, they'll, like, hit the girl they like. They're, like, all mean to her and stuff. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's almost like reverse psychology
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, okay. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Oh, wait. Okay. One more thing. This is about Tommy. What did you think when Tommy came back?
Oh,
That's a huge thing I have to ask.
that was I cried.
Oh, okay. I'm not the only one. Thank you.
It was so. It hit close to home because, as you know, I like to help out kids.
Mhm.
I've worked with kids who lived in foster homes, and part of the thing that sticks out in my mind is I want to see where they're going to be in like 10 years or whatever,
Mhm.
And they're middle school kids that I worked with, and the fact that they touched on that in that episode was just mind blowing. But besides from the personal experience that I had, it was just really heartwarming. The fact that Tommy wasn't forgotten about.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the show, and that's why it's a great thing that we have the same staff of writers and, of course, Michael Jacobs working on the Boy Meets World and then Girl Meets World, because they're not letting anything be forgotten. And that was just such a powerful moment when I kind of figured it out when they were in Topanga's,
Oh, okay.
but when he stood up, I was like, okay, this is real. This is really him.
Mhm.
And I hope we definitely see more of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful experience.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you. So now let's get started. Oh wait, did you want to say something?
Well, I just, on the same topic of you asking about Tommy, I was wondering what you thought of Jack being back in semi-formal, assuming you watched it.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. It was great to see Jack back. It was as I was expecting Jack to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jack could have gone in two different directions after Boy Meets World ended, and something tells me that he tried to go into that. I don't want to say like hippie type, but like he wanted to join the Peace Corps with Rachel. And
Yeah.
that's not the type of person you end up as wearing suits and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So him wearing the suits, him being a little more arrogant, is the way he was pretty much going to be before he lost all the money that he was supposed to be getting from his father or something at the end of Boy Meets World.
Mm-hmm.
So, but him being back in semi-formal was great. And again, hopefully we'll be seeing more of him. I think we're going to be seeing more of everybody in the next season.
Now we just need
Yeah.
Rachel. We've had almost everyone back except Rachel.
Well, you met her, so how was that?
Yeah, I met her. Oh, it was awesome. She was so nice and so freaking tall, like, because she had heels and I had flats, so I was like the shortest I could be, and she's tall and she was even taller than. So it's just like, when I saw the pictures, I'm like, dang, she's really tall, but she was so nice. I was like, I asked her if like maybe there might be a chance for her coming back, and she said there is, but obviously she said they haven't like shot anything or whatever, but she's just really happy that people are watching the show, and she recorded like a little message for everyone that I posted. But yeah, she was really, really nice. I was kind of nervous to go up to her, but yeah, so she's so beautiful too. Like, yeah, she's really pretty. So Maitland rocks. I've talked to her in person and Trina on the phone. So
Yes, that's right.
So Danielle Fishel, she's like the only one I haven't talked to, and who else? Ryder Strong too. I've talked to Wilfred L. I haven't gotten any pictures of him, but I've almost talked to almost everyone except Sean and Danielle. So yeah.
Cool.
So now let's get started with Girl Meets the Forgiveness Project. Whee! So we'll start with you, Sean.
Oh, who I was going to say was you.
You go first.
All right, so Girl Meets Forgiveness Project. I was waiting for this episode for a very long time. The one taping that I saw live in person was Hurricane, and the seeds were planted in, well, even before Hurricane, but I was really, really anticipating this episode, and it delivered. It delivered strongly, I felt. I see a little people bashing online, like, it's starting to become more about Maya.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's so many Maya storylines, and Riley goes into the background, which I disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the Maya storylines happen to be the heavier stuff.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's what happens to just stand out in people's minds. That, relationship stuff with Riley, Lucas, Maya, whatever, that's one thing. But when we're talking about, like, serious issues, like dads leaving families, yeah, that's going to stand out more. And it also, I thought the episode did a great job of representing a child who was going through the struggles of not having a father there. Both as a teacher and just as a kid growing up, I knew many people who were in that same situation. And it's tough. It's not easy. And people act the way they do because there's some inner anger towards the father and even themselves. And that was the most powerful moment of the episode when Corey asked, "Did you forgive yourself?" And Maya just broke down, and I had some water coming down my face. I don't want to say it was tears, but it was tough. It was.
Me too.
Yep, it was so emotional because there are so many people going through that at this very second that we're speaking, even, and it was just so powerful. so amazingly powerful. I thought Kermit, which is weird to say that out loud, because I just think of a green frog. But I think Kermit was casted wonderfully. At first, I thought he was a Sons of Anarchy member who got lost.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a great job for his role. He was very straightforward, very honest. Oh man, there's so much to say. It was just so good. It was really good. Um, and of course, it all starts in the classroom with one of Corey's ideas. If I tried to do that in the classroom, I'd probably get fired. But but I still do things like that. Just haven't gotten fired. But back to the episode. I think Riley did a great job as a support for Maya. She really showed herself as that best friend that every girl needs in a situation like that. Corey acting almost as a second father to Maya, maybe even better than her own father. I thought that was just so wonderfully done as well. The end scene where Corey
Oh my gosh.
getting notes from Topanga. He says, "Oh, I know what that one's about." Yeah, I was laughing. That's classic Corey and Topanga. So you have a little bit of everything. You got the heaviness that you would see in the Sean storylines from Boy Meets World, and you have the sense of humor that, but in that particular scene, that really stood out to me at the end. Classic Corey and Topanga. It was just such a good episode. And what I was saying with Texas, I kind of felt the same way here. I didn't feel there was like 100% resolution, but that's not a bad thing, because I think they're going to touch upon it more. They have to. Now that this episode is done, in the next season, we'll see more of Sean and how this episode is going to impact Sean's relationship with Maya, Katie, who did a great job, throwing pie in his face. She's such an awesome actress, and as you said, such a nice person. She's really cool. And she did a great job in this episode as someone who is angry at her past. I think this is one of those episodes that's really going to stand out as a highlight in the overall run once the show is all said and done in a couple years, or how many years. This is definitely going to be one of those ones that we talk about for time to come. And if this is any indication of where they're going to take it in season 3, like, we're really in. Like, this is the best is yet to come. And that's how I feel about this episode. I really, sincerely don't have any cons. It's all it's all pro. The one con that I would have had was that I didn't feel there was a resolution, but I switched it to a pro. Because that's how life is. We don't always have resolutions when we think we are going to get them. And sometimes there's more questions than answers in life. So that's how I feel about forgiveness.
I agree with you, because at first it's kind of like when that happens in an episode, it's like I want to know, but then when I see shows that like always have a resolution in like a half hour or whatever, at the end of every episode, it's kind of like Full House. Even though I love Full House, but that's one thing that kind of like annoyed me about it, is like there was always a happy ending at the end of the episode, like a hug, and I'm like, that's not real. So I kind of do like, even though sometimes it's frustrating, but then at the same time it's a good thing, because it's life. You'll get the resolution hopefully later on.
I'm totally with you on that. I think growing up in the 90s, 90 kids, we were so used to those so-called happy endings where it all ends with a hug and everyone's all happy. And like, any sitcom would have had like a happy ending. And in all honesty, my own thoughts was, well, this is a Disney show, so it's going to have a happy ending. And I was proven wrong, which I love. I like to be proven wrong when it comes to stuff like this. Because it means that they're really in control of the show. Michael Jacobs, the writers, they're really in control of the direction this show is going, and not Disney. Because honestly, in my opinion, if it was Disney who had their hands in this, it would have been over with a hug at the end of the episode, and there probably wouldn't be a father who walked out. The father probably would have came back and said, "Hey, I'm part of the family again," and that would have been the Disney happy ending. But this is not the Disney happy ending, which is awesome.
All right, so I guess it'd be Heavenly Gal's turn. Woo.
Yay!
Okay. Okay, I'll start with Sean. You started to say something about. Well, first of all, I agree about the great casting about the actor who played Maya's dad. And you started to say something about how it was good that the way he was straightforward and honest. And I'll just add to that, saying I think the way Katie was throwing the food at him, which is realistic in itself, and she did a great job too. I always love Katie being back. But the way he just kind of took it and let it happen also showed that he did in fact grow, mature than from the guy who did abandon his family previously. So like he just let it happen. He knew she needed to get it out, kind of. So yeah. And I also love that they cast a guy who's kind of like the everyman type of character.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah.
Not some like supermodel looking like perfect guy or something.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So yeah, I liked, and yeah, I hope he'll come back like eventually, but and I already mentioned Katie. I always like having her back, and Cheryl did a great job again. And I'll say I think this was the strongest episode in both writing and performance for Ben Savage. And both with Corey, the writing for Corey as a character, as in the classroom, in front of the classroom, and then switching gears to the father role. Like there's a good balancing act there. So, yeah, I agree with what you said about Riley being a good friend to Maya here. And I'll say I enjoyed Riley and seeing her journey through the Forgiveness Project with Auggie.
Oh yeah.
And her, like her in the opening, how she's like, "This is the first thing I see every morning," and how she just this was a good episode. Definitely, I'd say the best one.
Did you have any negatives or?
Yeah, I'm not done with my positives.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That was like your final comments.
Yeah, so this episode while this was a Maya episode, which we really, in a way, we haven't gotten in a while. But everyone else had their roles and had it, like there was good weight to every character and it didn't feel overcrowded. So, yeah, and I'll say the two highlights of this episode, which is the whole episode really, but the scene between Maya and her dad outside the cafe, just a beautiful scene and well written, well acted. Sabrina just nailed this whole episode, everything. And the highlight of that scene is that was a scene solely a private scene between her and her dad. We didn't know it wasn't in front of anyone else, and we didn't see anyone else looking in on them.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the next highlight is Maya coming back into the cafe with, and then landing in front of Corey and saying, like, just that whole moment between Corey and Maya, which, that's what I wanted from this episode. I'm glad Sean wasn't here for this episode, because I wanted Corey to be that person who was that father figure outside, like, besides her dad. And I like the realistic, it was clever the way, and realistic of having Maya's forgiveness end up being with herself first and foremost. And then to leave it open-ended of her dad coming back and then coming back, and maybe that we won't see that in the series. Like, we might see her dad again, but it could happen in her 20s where she just forgives. And yeah, I enjoyed the Lucas and Zay with Farkle, that whole thing. I won't say too much of that, just that was. I will say, it is annoying when people do that in movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Not just guess the ending or give the ending away, but just talk in general. Oh
my gosh, yeah. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch a movie with you again.
But yeah, I like the end of that storyline with Farkle then turning to Riley and Maya, ask him for the movies, and they say anytime. So, yeah. And just, I guess this goes more into final thoughts, but this ending between Riley and Auggie, how we see Riley apologizing. I feel like Auggie should have said he was sorry. I mean, but I also appreciated seeing Riley kind of being the bigger person in that moment, and so yeah.
Especially, I mean, he's a little kid, so.
Yeah, I know, but he did know he had done wrong. So if you know you do wrong, But anyways, no, that's a little thing. And and I like the end of the scene, how they handed Corey the envelopes, and then Topanga kept handing him. So yeah.
I think it would have been funny if Sean came in out of nowhere and gave him some, because he's probably intervened in Sean's life so many times that he's like, here, I forgive you too, buddy. That'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Or Feeny. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just every character from Boy Meets World, even Topanga's mom. Here. I know you're trying to get my ex-husband and I together. I forgive you for that too. That would have been hilarious. Just they should have done just a bonus scene or something, alternate ending. I don't know. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. And so I think that's it. Just a great episode. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop trying to say this, but I said it last week with Texas Part 3, but Forgiveness is miles ahead of that one. So this one is better. It beats Pluto. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I still haven't seen Belief yet, so.
So what your ranking is? What? Forgiveness? Then which one? What's the other one? What's your ranking of the best episodes? Your top 3?
I don't know. Forgiveness, semi-formal.
Okay.
Maybe.
And Pluto?
Pluto. Yeah. Texas. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So notice Charlie's in 2 of the episodes, so so if he's in an episode, it's gonna be one of your favorites. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know. Just a small thing I didn't like is, or just more of a question, we didn't really need it, is Topanga saying, coming into the cafe scene, the first one, she kind of explains why she's there. Like, oh, I'm gonna help out more, and we've seen her in the cafe before without them doing that, so I don't think they needed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also found Topanga a little, like that, it was kind of, it was a little bit, I found her a little bit awkward in that scene.
Oh.
But at the same time, I liked seeing her kind of back up Katie to showing their friendship develop. But anyways, just a small. And another small thing, more like I didn't think it was necessary, Topanga motioning to Riley to follow Maya out of the cafe after she walks out.
Oh yeah.
Like I already expected Riley to, even if we didn't see her do it, I expect Riley to follow Maya out. And yeah. I don't think she needed Topanga to tell her to do that. So
I mean, if she would have waited like 2 more seconds, Riley would have gone out there.
Yeah. Or she could have just left Maya alone a little bit to process things out herself, because people need to do that by themselves. You know, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. Right now.
All right. Okay. Try not to take too long. Okay. So my positives, I liked, that Zay, Lucas, and Farkle had their own little storyline going. I like seeing more of Zay. I'm glad he's been, I guess, like, at this point he is kind of like part of the group, so I'm happy about that, because at first I was like, I like him, but I hope they actually keep him and not just like put him in every now and then. So it seems like he's actually part of the group, so I like that. And then the scene with Riley and Auggie, the first scene when she like gives him the letter, I thought that was just like a really funny scene, and both of them were just hilarious in it. And then I like seeing Topanga as a waitress, because, she's pretty much perfect at everything, but being a waitress is like one thing she's probably not really good at. So, yeah, it's kind of just, yeah, she shows that, yeah, maybe she's not perfect at everything, but I can totally relate, because that's kind of how I was as a waitress. That's why I'm not a waitress anymore, because if somebody was mean to me, I would not be very nice to them. So
that's awesome.
I can't be fake. So I totally related to Topanga. And then I agree with what I think Sean, what you said about Riley. I thought she was a really good friend in this episode, because sometimes I do think she butts in a lot, and like she's just a little overbearing sometimes. But I think in this episode it's like she was there, but she wasn't just all like, in Spanish we say metiche, like super nosy and like looking in all the windows, all that stuff, So I thought she didn't annoy me in this episode, so that's it's good. She was just like just there, a great friend. But she gave Maya her space, to go talk with her dad and everything. So it shows some growth there for Riley. And Kermit, I looked up his name, David Thomas Jenkins, so that's who played Kermit, so good job. And I like that, well, first of all, that, Kermit actually showed up, because, I mean, obviously I knew he was going to be there because of the episode, but just, the fact that his character decided to show up, because, he could have just ignored Maya's letter and not go, but the fact that he went, and like, I did like how he dealt with the cake being thrown in his face, because, he does know that he does deserve it. So I thought, he handled it good. And he seemed, I did feel that he was remorseful for leaving. So that made me, like him. Even though, it stinks, what he did, but I don't hate him because he does feel bad. But and he regrets what he did, but he already has a new family and everything. I'm not saying it was okay, but the fact that he does feel bad, he wanted to like come and talk to her. that made me not hate him. But yeah, he should have maybe tried to make contact with her earlier. But I mean, he is putting some effort. I mean, there are dads that will not do anything at all. They will just like completely ignore the kids or just like not feel sorry at all for doing what they did. So I think he, you know, he's better than a lot of other people that who do that. And I also cried that scene during that scene with Maya, between Maya and her dad. Sabrina was just like, her performance just like blew me away. That's pretty much why I cried. I kind of, I liked, there was like a little moment between Katie and Maya, but I'll talk more about that later. And then yeah, I also like that Corey comforted Maya. That was really sweet. That kind of like made me tear up a little bit more, just like that moment between them. And then yeah, at the end, that scene with Corey getting all the letters, that was just hilarious. And then my negatives, I had a hard time finding negatives too, so I don't have that many, but when I kind of wish that like when Maya gave Corey a hug, like I guess they both hugged or whatever, I kind of wish like Katie could have gotten a hug too, because I kind of wanted more of a Katie and Maya moment. I thought this episode we'd see more of like their relationship, or just I don't know, I want to see maybe like a scene with them, just them two by themselves, or I wanted to know more about like the relationship or what happened, or maybe I'm not supposed to know or whatever, but I just wanted a little bit more of Katie and Maya without the Matthews around. I don't know.
I agree with that. I'm just going to jump in real quick. Now that you say it, that makes a lot of sense. We used to see Sean and Chet all the time, with just Sean and Chet. And we don't really see that with Katie and Maya. So that's a great point that you made. And now, if you mention it, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, like I felt like since, I mean, this is a pretty big thing with her dad coming back, like I felt like we could have at least gotten one scene where, Katie was with, Katie talked to Maya alone and maybe about what happened. I don't know, just a little something. Especially because I love Katie, so and I just want to see more of like their relationship, because Heavenly Gal and I have talked about how like it seems like sometimes that Topanga is more her mom than Katie, or like Maya gets more hugs from Topanga than Katie, or Topanga hugs Maya more than Riley, so so yeah, just more Katie and Maya, because yeah, they're awesome, and it's like right now they kind of just have each other, so I just want to see more of them. Yeah, especially during this pretty big moment. So I think that's it for my negatives. My final thoughts, just that I understand. I mean, even though like, okay, yeah, I didn't have a father that left me, but I guess I sympathize with Maya. The fact that like she didn't forgive her father right away. I wouldn't really expect her to, but it is good that she forgave herself. But yeah, that's a pretty big thing that affects you, so I don't really expect her to forgive him right away. It's gonna take some time. So yeah, that's about it. So any other thoughts? We made it. We went through it before 9.
Wow. I thought, all right, so the question I have for you girls is, where do you think, or ladies, where do you think it goes from here?
Like, for like the whole show, or?
Well, this particular storyline, because we only have, 3 episodes left this season or something?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, New Year's the last one?
I think so.
What? That's so weird, because last season ended in the spring.
I thought graduation was the last episode.
Oh yeah, that's true, graduation.
Oh, it must be New Year's, yearbook, New Year's, graduation, is it?
Well, we already had yearbook.
Alright, that's right. It was supposed to, I know they switched the order around. I think yearbook was supposed
okay, let me see. I think I have it on IMDb right here. I have let's see. According to IMDb, it's Belief, New Year, Sludge in January, then Money January, Communism January, Bay Window February, Legacy February. So I don't know if Graduation they changed it to Legacy or it hasn't been added on here yet, but the last one is Legacy and it's the 30th episode.
30. Oh wow, that's a long season.
Yeah, that's longer than normal.
Yeah.
So I don't, as far as like Kermit, I don't think he's gonna I don't think him and Katie are gonna get back together.
Yeah.
But I think, you'll probably see him, but I don't think anytime soon. Like, I think maybe down the line. Maybe there's like a huge event in Maya's life. I don't know, she gets married or something. Not gonna happen. I don't know, she graduates or something big happens, like
Graduation,
some cool...
that's a big enough reason for him to come.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, something like that, then yeah, he might show up. But I don't see
Ooh.
becoming a family.
And Sean are going to show up at the same time. Watch.
Oh, yeah. She's gonna have she's kind of lucky because she kind of has two dads in a way, because Corey's kind of like her dad in a way.
Yeah.
So she lost one, but she kind of gained two with Corey and Sean, even though Sean's not really doing that great right now because I haven't seen him in a while. So, I want to know. I hope we get an update on what's going on with Katie and Sean before the season ends. I just want one scene or something, one more appearance by Sean. I would like to know just how's it going.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, last we heard they were gonna go on a date. That's it. Mm-hmm. So I want to know how the date went. Oh no, was it? No, it was the date, right? The hurricane. Yeah, and I think we're gonna see Angela maybe one more time. I heard that she was gonna come back. I'm not sure of this season, but I think I heard that she was gonna make another appearance because.
I hope it's an episode without Sean, so we get an Angela Topanga scene this time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that made me I thought that was so lame. Like, I'm like, how can you not have a scene with Angela and Topanga? They were like best friends. Like, that's just crazy that she goes to her own, she goes to Topanga's coffee shop and she doesn't even say hi to Topanga or anything. Like, what the heck? That's just wrong. It's just wrong. So, okay, Sean, what do you think? Since you asked us that.
Well, I'll say.
Did you want to? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we should. I hope we get a storyline where we meet his other family and see Maya maybe meet her siblings. So, yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were going to get when they first talked about him being in an episode. I don't know, for some reason I thought we were gonna meet his family at the same time, but I guess yeah, maybe in the future.
And I'd like to know where he lives, how far he had to travel to get there.
What his wife looks like compared. No, I'm just kidding. That's messed up. So
yeah, I'll say, just to go back to forgiveness. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, finish your thought.
I like the bit at closing the opening scene which kind of foreshadows everyone else giving Corey the envelopes at the end of the episode. How Maya passed the note to Riley and said "butt out."
Yeah.
So
I liked Riley's face. She was like, her smile, she was so cute. And I was wondering, okay, since we didn't really have much of a resolution in Texas about, Lucas and... Do you think they were together or something? Because he was the first one that was like, don't you think it's time? And then he, put his hand on her shoulder and everything. I was like, are they dating? Or maybe that's... Because he's right.
I don't think they're dating, because I don't think forgiveness was supposed to be... it was supposed to follow Texas necessarily.
Oh, you think they switched it?
I don't know, but it's clear that the series isn't following any specific order. So.
Oh, okay.
It's some of the stuff is out of sequence.
Yeah.
Well, that's confusing. Why do they do that?
It is.
Yeah.
Because then I'm just then I don't know, that I feel like it makes Lucas seem like he can't make up his mind.
You know what else used to do that? Saved by the Bell. When Saved by the Bell first aired, they would air episodes way out of sequence than it is in the showrunner's original concept.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but like I can't even think of examples off the top of my head. But if you look at the release date of the episodes from Saved by the Bell, and if you look at the episode number, the call number, and all the technical stuff, it was really the order was so out of order. But when they aired it in syndication, that's when they would show it in order.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I commented on when with Rara and what's the other one, the bullying one, the bullying episode. What was the name of that episode?
Rileytown.
Rileytown, yeah, because like I think the way Cory and Topanga. Sorry, the order that they aired Cory and Topanga first, where at the end of the episode Riley's like, "Oh, I'm unique and awesome," and then the next episode she gets bullied and she's like, "I hate being unique." Like, I was like, what the, like, they should have switched it, because like I was like, she made great progress in this Cory and Topanga episode. She feels great about being unique, and then the next episode she's like, I hate being unique. I don't want to be unique anymore. So I felt like it just undid everything from Cory and Topanga. So I'm just like, you should have just like switched it. So now when I watch it, I'm just gonna watch it in reverse order, because I just feel like that's not right.
Well, the commercials for the next episode, Belief, is it? Farkle's wearing turtlenecks again.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to the taping for that one, and that, like, the last one I went to was Rara, and I went to Belief, but that was like way before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, just a lot of stuff is good, like, yeah. So I know for sure Lucas is not dating Maya in that episode.
Yeah.
So that's funny. So I guess there's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
I think we might be done.
Yeah.
We did it in under an hour.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Also, just to talk about another bit I liked, I forgot about, with going back to Riley Auggie. I liked how, like, it was sweet how Auggie said he wants to, how he was jealous of the bear and Maya for spending all the time with Riley. Oh yeah. And then we see them hug, and then in the next scene, balancing again going with the humor, Riley wanting to get away from her. So, it was cute. But, yeah. Yeah.
Just want to clap for the whole cast. It's a great episode. And the writers.
Yeah.
Michael Jacobs. And I just realized that at all the tapings, his son was there. I didn't know it was his son. I guess his son is one of the writers now. And because I saw a picture of him recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was his son? And I always saw him at the tapings, but I thought he was just like one of the writers. I mean, he is one of the writers, but I didn't know it was Michael Jacobs' son. So I just found that out. I was like, oh, okay, now I know who that is. So congrats.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that he's kind of following in his dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
I want to be like, I saw you on Boy Meets World when you were a little kid in the season finale, and in the other episode where you saw dead people. He looks very different. I wouldn't have recognized him. Looks very different from when he was a kid. Alright, so I guess that's it. Anyone else has anything? No? We're all good?
Well, I'll say real quick that this was a blast to be back on the after show. As always, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mo, and nice meeting you, Heavenly Gal. This is our first after show together.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, you would always give out these really good comments, and it's really surreal to actually have three-person after show now. It's really cool.
Thanks.
The comments have come to life. No. Yes, more people, more the merrier. Yay!
Do you think you'll be back for next week's episode?
Yeah, we could do it. We'll get the scheduling down. I think so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually I won't know really until the end of the week.
Yeah, I know I'm going away in 2 weeks.
Oh, for holidays.
Yeah, I'm going back to Jersey.
Well, I think after the next episode there won't be one for a while. I think.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have a little break. Yeah, after Girl Meets Belief, it's Girl Meets the New Year in December. So. Were you gonna say something, Heather?
I'm just trying my hardest not to watch any promos for Belief.
Oh, okay.
My mind's already like I'm already have high expectations for that episode, so I don't want to see anything for that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I just want to say too, for anyone that's watching, you might think like, why is this on this channel? Because this is a 90s channel, and yeah, I usually do this on the main channel, but I can't until April because I got a freaking copyright strike for, yeah. I don't think I should have, but anyway. So this is going to be on this channel until April. Well, I guess we won't have Girl Meets World anymore at that time. Maybe season 3. Maybe season 3 will start by then. But, yeah, thanks to anyone who's watching. And leave comments. I like reading comments.
And if anyone wants to see, I don't know if anyone heard of the ATX festival.
Oh yeah.
Girl Meets World they had a panel this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's on YouTube, so you can just look that up. And that's where Michael Jacobs kind of talks about belief, and he's kind of I think they were really like proud of that episode and happy. Yeah. So,
I'll look for a link and I'll try to post it if I find it.
Yeah.
The description. Mm-hmm. All right. So I guess that's it. Subscribe if you haven't. 10,000. That's my goal. Just 10,000. I'm not like I don't need to get 1 million or nothing. Just 10,000, which is not that much compared to other people. So just 10,000. That would help me out. Okay, so I guess that's it for this week's Girl Meets World episode or after show, and we will talk to you guys later. Yay! Bye.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye.
Post links below. Check them out.